The specification of the Zenith E makes it an industry leader within the battery-powered commercial market. This is partially because it's the first battery-powered commercial mower developed by an outdoor power equipment manufacturer. Until now, battery-powered commercial mowers have only been developed by battery manufacturing companies. Specialists in batteries maybe, but not necessarily experts in designing zero turns. These interchangeable and easily removable 22.6 kilogram batteries give the Zenith E all-day cutting capability. 4 fully charged Fusion Core batteries already provide enough power to cut 12 to 15.5 acres, or around 62,000 square meters, which represents about 4 to 5 hours of continuous cutting time, depending on cutting conditions. But operators can cut without limitations by easily swapping out depleted cells with fully charged batteries in seconds. The Ariens Zenith E has 5 individual driven motors, 1 for each of the 3 spindles and then the 2 wheel drive motors. Unlike conventional spindles, our X3 constant drive spindle motors don't use belts. This means that there's no possibility for belt slip and therefore no risk of a dip in power. Our proprietary spindle motor design provides constant power and a consistent blade tip speed in all cutting conditions. This of course means the Zenith E produces a fantastic cut quality that rivals or exceeds any petrol or diesel zero turn. Additionally, the Ariens Zenith E comes with either a 60-inch wide side discharge or a 60-inch rear discharge cutting deck option. The Ariens Zenith E has 2 proprietary electric wheel drive motors. These motors don't use belts, require very little maintenance, and yet the operator won't notice much difference compared to the feeling of driving a conventional petrol-powered zero turn. While the electrical components on the Ariens Zenith E are new innovations to the market, the unit's commercial features are not. We brought the same Ariens construction quality, durability, and commercial designs to the Zenith E.
Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone can hear me now. Thank you very much to Ariens who are sponsoring today's event. As I said, good morning and welcome to Pro Landscaper TV. Thank you all very much for joining us today, either via your Instagram live page, your Facebook live, or via Zoom. Hopefully by now you'll know that every Tuesday at 10 PM, Pro Landscaper TV goes live for just over 30-40 minutes. You can also catch up on all the programs on YouTube channel and of course on the Pro Landscaper website, where you can also find the latest information on the up and coming programs that we have planned. Next week, it's a great one. We've got Lewis Norman, who's going to be chatting to Paul Harvey Brooks, all about how Chelsea moved, RHS Chelsea show moving from May to September and how that affects the planting palette, and also some of the other issues that face designers because of that change. And then finally, at the end of the month, we've got our first one with the UK colleges. We have 4 or 5 of the colleges coming on board to talk about how their training and development, their interaction with the industry to make sure that they are producing the quality and the right type of people for the landscape industry for the future. Today, I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by Richard and Rachel Kay, who over the last 25 years have built up one of the most successful companies supplying the landscaping sector, of course, GreenTech. When we booked this program, we were talking about it at the beginning of January. I was expecting to ask them what the next 25 years for GreenTech had installed. Talking to Richard, and he said to me, can we delay this, please? Because there's a big acquisition going on. So I was thinking to myself, who the hell are they buying now? What's going on? And this went on and on for a while. Little did I know that it was actually them that were being sold and them being acquired. As most of you know now, GreenTech was acquired by Origin Enterprises in March 2021. Lots to get through about that. I know one of the things that's off limits at the moment is about the price. But I guess if you want to tell us the price as we go through the process, that's a great thing. And I promise I won't mention it more than 1 or 2 times. Welcome both. I hope you're both well and good.
Good morning, Tim.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, very good. Thank you. Very good. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's start from the beginning. So 25 years ago, we've been quite fortunate because we've done supplements after 20 years and after 25 years and seen the growth and how you've moved GreenTech forward. But in those early days, at 25 years ago, what was the goal and the objective? What were you trying to achieve with GreenTech?
I think initially it was to put £1 a month on the table. The company I was working for, Joseph Bentley's, were in receivership, and it was a case of what do we want to do now, really. So I attended Saltex in that September and met many of Joseph Bentley's suppliers, and had a meeting with most of them. And I was actually Trevor Martin from Vitago around this round table said, "I'll give you an account, Richard." And with the backing of Trevor, a number of other people said, "We'll supply you, Richard, we'll supply you." So then other people said, "Well, make sure you get products." So I went home back and told Rachel that, you know, we've got a supply chain sorted out. So the next 2 weeks we pulled together a paper catalogue, and we were ready to roll by the 1st of October 1994. And it was pretty much an half a daily operation, because I bought a red Escort van from you, because Rachel's accountant at Ford Garage, and it was pretty much a case of today's deals at the back of the van, and away we went, really. Well, a lot of lucky my dad had a farm, so we were able to set a little warehouse up at Dad's farm and take stock in. And it's really just doing the rounds of Bentley's top customers, mainly the north starts off with, and servicing their needs, you know, flying around the country, picking stuff up and delivering it. And so I think year one was pretty good. And year two, we took on two people who were selling to the golf course market. And then I think at the end of year two, took on Ian Rotherham, who became a sales manager. And the day Ian joined, the three people in the golf market resigned, which was something we hadn't expected. However, when we looked at the figures, I was doing half the turnover of the business in landscaping. And we just said, look, we just need to deliver the ultimate one-stop shop. So we've been doing a lot of Me Too brands. So I went to all the top brands, so I want to sell your product, but I want a better price than anybody else. And I think back in the day, and to a certain extent this day, our competitors, distributor catchers, they carry multiple brands of similar sort of products, where we focused on one fertilizer supplier, one seed supplier, etc., and was able to give them volume and gain an advantage in margin. Also made our stock lines a lot easier as well. So me and Ian just ploughed on from there, and then we took on reps for every 3 months. We had about 4 reps on the road in the end of year 3. I think about year 4, we realised that they were all sat in lay-bys trading. So we, at that point, said, well, maybe you should come into the office, and we sort of started the telephone operation from there. Year 4, wasn't it?
Yeah, we didn't actually have an office. I think it all came to a head one day when I came home, and there was 4 reps and a rep for another company in our front living room, and I was bringing an accountancy client back to the back bedroom. They said, this is too much, we're invaded. So that's when we set up the office down at Richard Statt's farm. And yeah, the first 5 years we doubled turnover every year. Until we got to about 2.5 million, and always the plan has been to run on for 3 years and then have a consolidation year. But often when you want to have that consolidation year, the demand is there, and you can't turn it down, can you? You just go with it.
Did you always, I don't know, when you joined, did you have the defined roles, what you would do, Rachel, and then what Richard would do? Is there always, or did that just fall naturally?
Yeah, Richard's very much the front man, whereas I'm behind him sweeping up and everything sings.
I think we quickly learned there was a great opportunity in our market, because I think back then a lot of our competitors viewed landscapers as a bad debt risk. In reality, they're no worse industry than anybody else. So we were, to a certain extent, for the first 15 years, were left alone by a lot of our competitors and focus on local authority and golf course market. And it wasn't until the first sort of credit crunch went in 2005 that people started looking in at what we did a bit more then. But by then we brought in next day delivery for pallet service and parcel service, and I think we were the first to bring that into line, because a lot of our competitors had their own trucks and did round robin deliveries, where we sort of upped the ante and went next day with the pallet line people, and that gave us a great edge in the market to be able to offer that sort of. So we always kept a lot of stock. It might not have been the stock that people wanted, but it was the stock that would do the job and get it onto site next day.
And grow, nationally rather than stay just in the north then and start moving down? Was that gradual?
Yeah, I think Ian was based in Chesterfield, so he was 100 miles south of us. So he was like a roving rep, picking off the top accounts, probably out of Barley, and he sort of built the bedrock of it up. And then the reps, of course, have 20 centi probably.
That's not Origin Enterprise saying you're not allowed to say that, is it?
And of course, using the telephone system gave us great reach. 8 hours a day on the phone, you can bash a lot of calls in. Back in that day, faxes. And we had a lot of reach, a very cost-effective reach as well. We're able to manage accounts very effectively. And as you know, we always have pool cars, so if someone wanted to see us, we were able to travel anywhere in the country the next day to collect an order or sort a problem out or discuss potential orders. So the combination worked really well. With myself on the road, and then the guys in the office on the phones with the use of pool cars to access clients as well.
When you look back though, or was the idea then to build a business to sell? Was it to pass it down to children? What was the sort of the concept? What was the end game for you at that time?
It was mainly to be the best supplier that we could be to the landscape industry. And the thing about it is that people don't leave the industry, they move around in it. So they've been taking us with them. But always service has been top of our minds. And I still think to this day that we're the best at service in the industry.
And is there sort of any real, when you look back at fundamental changes, well, that really did take the business to the next level, that really took the business to the next level? What were they?
I think probably a decade ago when we really started to attend a lot more shows and spend a lot more money on advertising and promotion and hosting sort of little trade shows ourselves. I think that upped our presence in the market. And so I guess over the last decade, backed up with social media, attending like the pro landscaper shows and futurescapes, and just having that physical presence on the floor and meeting and greeting people and just pressing the flesh. I think the last decade has been the way where we've really cracked on and looking after people. End of the day, our clients, our main priority is to make sure we deliver for them. And if there's a problem, we get it sorted out. And just make sure we do the best job we can all the time. And our last delivery, is our trademark. It's only as good as our last delivery. Really.
Yeah. And how did you work out the new brands and new products to bring to market? How has that sort of been worked out? And as you expanded, I guess you selected a lot of good ones. Were there a couple of bad ones that you quickly turned your back on? And
well, we've done 7 acquisitions. The first was in 2007, but before that we sort of did a joint venture with Yorkshire Water, which is where we started with the manufactured topsoil. So that started in 2005. That's now about £2.5 million. Then in 2007 we did John Holdfast and Mona, which gave us an irrigation product. Then John Chambers with the wildflowers. Often there were brands that were quite unloved and 35 years old. The owner was probably extremely tired and the branding was tired, so we just sort of grabbed hold of it and injected new life into it, rebranded it, and improved the products where we could.
One of the things about Green Tech, and we come on to this one, I think there is definitely a type of person that works for Green Tech, and that comes across. But the second thing is your sort of presence in your market and your your consistency in terms of your marketing, your branding, being involved in sponsorship. Is that a very conscious decision? Is that something you said from the start that's what's going to help us move the business?
Yeah, I think we've seen that play out the last decade where all that's come together. And to be honest with you, that delivers us 10% growth every year. Just that model of being in the marketplace, doing these shows, the socials, great customer care and contact, and also changing the sales team a little bit. If someone's not getting on with the account, switch it up, change it around. A different voice often stimulates more business from an account. but yeah, I think I have to say I think our branding looks good, the catalog looks good. It's under Kate's stewardship for the last 7 years. It's top draw.
Yeah. And looking at all the acquisitions, then when you look at sort of John Chambers, for instance, that was a great addition to your portfolio, wasn't it? At the right time, it felt.
Yeah, I mean, we've dealt with John himself since the mid-90s, I would say, and a super guy. And he was involved with the Olympic Park and everything. But that really allowed us to baton did that. But also, you know, there's a lot of woolliness in wildflowers, you know, so we put a lot of integrity into it. Everything's British native unless you want something from abroad. You know, there's a lot of people selling things that, well, they say that something's in a bag and it isn't, but we can say with integrity that ours is in the bag.
And then I guess another big move was the big investment in the new site and the development of the site and all that. In terms of that, must have shifted the business to the next level.
Oh, massive. So when we bought it 7 years ago, it was a burnt out shell, and it was only because our current landlord at that time said, "Oh, you've got 18 months in your contract, then I need the sheds back to build a feed building business in." And so luckily Harriet Council were accepting our first set of drawings and put in to knock it all down and rebuild it with 2 big warehouses. And yeah, the last 5 years have been quite pivotal moving down here. We've grown.
Probably, well, we've doubled staff on us since we've been.
Yeah, so we couldn't have done that at the old place. My old place, you had to wipe your feet on the way out. It was a cheap and effective operation, but this place is lovely and middle of 2 motorway junctions. And it's great for capturing staff, for equidistance between Harrogate and York. And yeah, no, it's been a pivotal move for us. And we recently built some more warehouses, double our warehousing. So we've got enough room here to put another 50% on the business. And then we just go backwards down the supply chain and start buying in week numbers to increase our capacity.
I also remember pre-lockdown when we came up here talking about getting a much more integrated IT system in place, and which will allow you maybe more tracking on deliveries, etc. How did that sort of embed itself?
That sort of started to come live last October, mainly on parcels, and we're just about to integrate the pallet services now to improve tracking. But even in our digital offerings, looking at online portals that our customer, he's changed since he was the man in the middle of a field. He now wants to order 24/7, so we need to be able to give him the tools to do that. So our digital platforms work really well. They're contributing about 2.5 million, but with a strong growth plan for them.
And just going back onto the staff then, do you feel there's a type of person that fits well at Green Tech and represents Green Tech well in the market? And is that what you look for?
I think there's a bit of a Marmite culture in here, lovers or haters.
Yeah.
And they come and stay or they go within a week. It is what it is, isn't it? Yeah, we do spend as much time as we can on interviews to try and get the process right and the right fit. And Rachel's great at taking on people who, if they don't work in a role, find the role that works for them and put them in the right role in the business. We spend a lot of time doing that.
And I suppose we're fortunate in that we have grown and been able to find a square hole for a round peg at some points. It's without growth we wouldn't have been able to do that and retain staff. So our staff turnover is really very, very low. But our staff are pivotal to everything that we do. There's a huge team and a strong culture behind everything here. And
the senior team seems to have been there for quite a while and grown as the business grown. And again, was that a conscious decision to pick the people and help them develop and help them push Green Tech forward? Yeah,
definitely. I think we've had 4 through the apprenticeship scheme. We've got 3 now doing degree level apprenticeships. And to be honest, we could do with another 2 junior apprentices at the moment. But investing in people is so worthwhile.
But I say our senior team has been with us. I think Kate's the youngest one at 7. Gilly's been 18 years, Glenn 17 years, Chopper 18 years, Corin 13 years, Woody 8 years. That's it. You know, so we've all got a lot of experience, and certainly half of the Greater Board have worked in large organisations before, so they've got broad experience of sort of PLCs, which brings a different dimension to us as being like, going from humble beginnings to where we are now. And we've got a lot of homegrown talent within the business, you know, like such as Dean Jackson joined us not only up to 18, and now he's one of our sales managers. Absolutely fantastic manager, really self-taught on IT. You know, and we've got loads of these guys and girls in the business who they've come in, no real direction, but we've found out what turns them on and put them on into a team. And most often these are running teams, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, you know, nice new premises, all working well, the IT system, good staff. So why is it time to sell now?
Well,
I think fundamentally, Greentek's had 27 years of us, so it's had more of us than we've had on our own. So it's time to sort of just take a bit of a back seat and just take stock of it, really.
yeah, I think there's never an optimum time to get out, but for us, I would say it's had the best 27 years of our life. We've got a growing family, and one of the key drivers for us was choosing the right partner. And Origin have got a fantastic track record of taking on businesses and retaining directors and key management and retaining them. And also then growing businesses. It was never about the price, it was about getting the right fit for Greentek, our staff, and the opportunities that this business would create for them. And we've had numerous offers in the last 2 years, but this was the real deal, where they want to grow our business, they want to retain the staff, they want to grow the staff, they're going to use Greentek HQ as a hub for the north of England, and they've got many opportunities within the wider business that will that the synergies will benefit both parties, and both Rob, who's the FD, and Chris, who's the MD. They're actually fantastic pair of blokes to work with, very focused, bloody hard working, and very clever guys. So they're one of our objectives when we set the deal off, we said to our lawyers, we all need to walk out of this deal all in hands, because we've got to hand over our first baby, and we don't want the lawyers at each other. And we did that anyway. If we could have gone to the pub and celebrate, we would have done. But we achieved the objective. All the teams got on well for the transaction, and we've got a fantastic working relationship with the Origin team.
So when did it all start, and how did it originate? And was it in your mind that you need to sell now? Or how did it all sort of come about? And also, what effect did lockdown have on the process and the speed?
Well, Chris has approached us a couple of times and we turned him down, and then we just started a conversation last January, and then lockdown happened for all of us, so we picked up again in September, and then really from December it's been quite rapid. It just felt right. Sometimes it's nothing more than that, is it?
I think from in November it was two meetings, and we've got the framework of the deal done, and by Christmas we had a heads of term signed, term sheet signed. 2nd of January the due diligence, financial and commercial questions came through, and we just had a roller coaster 9 weeks, completing the questionnaires backwards and forwards with information, and our deal timeline was to have the deal done by pre-budget date. And we missed the date by 4 minutes for whatever reason. So we took 24 hours to restock, and then completed on the Thursday, 2 o'clock, which was far better than waiting until midnight the previous 40 hours.
So who else in Greentek was involved in doing the deal then, or was it just you two, and did nobody get any wind of it, or how did you play it with the team?
There was just us and the FD to begin with, because, you know, these things often fall down, you know.
Yeah.
There's no point in upsetting people and getting them unsettled if something's not going to happen. And then the rest of the board knew probably about 5 weeks before it went through.
Okay. And how did you tell the team, the rest of the team, and what was the initial feeling? Was it shock? And
I think there was an element of surprise, but actually when they looked at the offering that Origin give us in terms of job security and the future and the growth, it's really a bit of a no-brainer. You know, at the end of the day, we're extremely proud of what we've achieved to get to 20 million. But I honestly believe this business can do 100 million, and I believe that they're the right partner to do that.
And what about the clients and, you know, the people that you've been dealing with for the last 20 odd years, and how did you communicate to them, and what was their sort of feedback?
I think most people were really pleased for us, weren't they?
Yeah, with lots of really complimentary emails and phone calls and texts from clients dealt with the last 25 years. And we'd already written a script out for the sales guys to ring all the key accounts, and then I think that was followed by an email and press releases. Chris spent best part of 2 weeks in the business talking to staff, presentations about Origin Group, then little focus meetings over that fortnight period, just so he got to know them and put them reassurance that everything was good to go, and there was, you know, it was a great deal for them and the business, and there was job security there. But yeah, lovely feedback from customers. You know, it was very heartwarming.
And in terms of Origin, the rest of their portfolio, how does that fit with Green Tech, and is there any synergies and any sort of duplications in areas?
I think that's one of the good things, is that we were in the sort of amenity sectors, Headland, Amenity, Symbio, Landmark UK, Turf Keepers, a digital platform, Rigby Taylor, and PB Kent, which all, you know, we're all in different sectors. So I think Green Tech complements that portfolio of businesses. And then in the wider organisation, they're obviously very big into fertiliser manufacturing, and also Agri is a business of theirs, which offer opportunities. The farming sector's changing, the way farmers are paid, so that potentially there's some great synergies there.
And how does it leave you two then? So I guess, I don't mean financially, but in terms of you're committed to the business for another 12 months, or was it for a 12-month deal? How's it working for you two?
Yeah, we're remaining in place for 12 months, and then we'll see where we go from there, really. But you know, we've still got the business park. We have a caravan park for our you know, and we're keen to do things like, we've got an idea about doing an incubation hub for starter businesses, you know, where we can sort of do a wraparound care of sales, marketing, accounts. So we'll just see where we go with that, really.
But you over the next, I don't know, 6 months, is it you'll be still regular at Green Tech and still working from base there? And
yeah, business as usual.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the mantra, hashtag business as usual.
Yeah.
Answer a question. Tim Howell asked us about training. Do we use external training courses or in-house? We use a number of options of mainly external trainers, really, isn't it? When new staff start, we give them the in-house training through the most experienced team members, and then for specific training, we bring in contractors to do that. I'm sorry, Tim, about the shirt if it's giving you some glare.
I was going to say, I like the way you answer one of the questions, but you ignored the one about the shirt. So
I can take it off, but it's not a pretty sight. A bit of lockdown, to be honest.
So let's get this back on. So with the staff, then they're all pretty much like fired up now, know their direction, know what's going on. You've got your sort of next few months mapped out, or 9 months, whatever it is, mapped out to do it. Have you got a non-compete clause and things like that if you leave, or is there a likelihood that we'll see you in some other aspect in the landscaping sector?
Like anything, it's under negotiation, so I don't know where we'll pop up. We'll have to wait and see.
But yeah, we've got a 3-year exclusion or non-compete, but I think, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. We get this. Our main priority is to get the baby handed over and in good order, and make sure that everything's fine by the end of February next year, and then take stock then. We've got some travelling to do, spend more time with the kids, and get a bit of travelling done, and yeah, just.
Hopefully you'll be allowed to do that shortly and things like that. How do you think you are going to feel though? I don't know. Let's just say the 28th of February next year, you walk out and that's it. How do you think you're going to feel?
Well, I think immensely proud. You know, it's like we've got to get out at some point, and I'm sort of looking forward to seeing Origin grow the business, and always be immensely proud of what we've achieved, and also very grateful to the trainer. We've met some great people over the last 27 years, and had some fantastic times. And after the trainers are such a welcome trainers, you know, there's hardly any animosity between people. The competitors all get on, the supply chain all get on. You know, it's a really great trade to be in. And I've got 18 months left to do a barley chair, so I'm not going anywhere for a while.
So just picking up on that barley chair then, Richard, as we're here, I know we're running out of time, but very quickly then, in terms of the idea behind the rebranding and the changing of barley, in terms of that, what's significance of it? I
think we're coming to our 50th year next year, so it was time for a refresh of branding, like we all go through. Darren have been working on that for a while, and I think it's freshened it up a little bit. It looks great, and also we'll be able to relaunch the second phase of the website on the same time, and all refreshened up. Just, I don't know if you saw yesterday, they launched the Barley Chalk Fund for the Barley Chalk Champions, which I think should be a great initiative and deliver some great revenues for Barley Chalk Fund. I think barley's in good order. You know, some of our clients have suffered through lockdown, but the membership's in good order, and a lot of people want to join.
Your last 18 months, what do you want to see, and what do you want to push through, and what's the top things that I guess are in your mind to drive for barley?
I think our objective really as a board is to ensure that we keep new inquiries coming through, that we're looking into the diversity of barley board, barley as a sector, landscape as a sector. We've got another tranche of information coming out from the horticulture round table on the direction of travel for the UK landscape and horticultural sector. And I think them findings are out in May, which sound very exciting. More partnerships between and understanding working between other organisations. We've done quite a lot of knowledge share through the last year with COVID, and I think Barley has been a great leader in COVID information to our members and the wider market. So pretty much more the same, Jim.
Yeah, good. I'm conscious of time, and I just want to put on record. First of all, I want to thank you both very much for your support for Lisa and I and Pro Landscape over the years. We really appreciate it, and you know, I think you backed a lot of our ventures early on, which isn't always easy to do. So thank you very much for that. Also, I wish you both extreme luck. Not that I think you need it. I think you're very successful. I think you'll be sorely missed if you move out of the industry, and I think you've done a superb job. And I know, like talking to your staff, how much they appreciate your leadership and your direction of the business. So yeah, thank you very much on behalf of Lisa and I, Pro Landscape and the industry. Well done and good luck.
Thank you. Giving me goosebumps, Jim. Thank you, Lisa, and Pro Landscape, and thanks to all the trade. You know, it's been a great journey, and we'll just need to see if it continues. But it's been a great journey. We've enjoyed it, and we couldn't have been in a better trade.
And hopefully you're going to both come down for the Pro Landscape and Business Wars, where we can maybe have a beer and celebrate.
Absolutely. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Excellent.
25th of June.
We don't need
Thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you all for watching.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers. That's my time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much.